Hi, I'm Daniel Foley from the Abundant Life Training Center, and welcome to this week's yearly cycle updates. We are on October 30th, 2020, and as we're transitioning into the fall season here, we're in a time of year where hopefully we're seeing some breakthroughs. If you went through the process of going through your miracle year planning process at the beginning of the year this year in 2020, hopefully you've been preparing and preparing and preparing, and God is setting you up to open up some doors to transition into that new thing that He's prepared for you. Just remember, every year as time moves forward, time and space are very related. So as time is moving forward linearly, as we're moving forward in time, we must constantly reposition ourselves in time. This is the time of the year as we get into November and December where God often gives us a stirring inside, where we have the stirring for something more on the inside of us. And God begins to open doors for us to begin to reposition us. What is He hopefully doing? He's hopefully repositioning us into something that's going to call a little more out of us. It's going to be a higher level of our gifting. It may stretch us and grow us a little bit more. Now, sometimes these things can look scary because it's requiring you to step up to the next level sometimes. Sometimes they can look scary, and almost always it will require faith to go through those doors, and usually there'll be some work on the other side. Usually it will take faith and courage. You know, in our order blueprint and the inside of the Abundant Life Blueprint, we talk about how order and position are very closely related, and one of the keys to unlocking proper positioning and order in our lives is courage. That's the emotional key. It will usually take faith and courage to go through those open doors and to reposition ourselves where God wants us to be. But just think about that. Time and space are very related. So as time moves forward, we must constantly be repositioning. Otherwise, we get left behind. So we must be constantly doing this every year, hopefully. Now, part of this process is hopefully, like I said, going through this miracle year planning process. So we've got a class coming up, a free class coming up that actually starts next week. It's going to be Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Zoom. It's a free class where we're going to start going through the miracle year process. We're going to take about 8 to 9 weeks. Hopefully we'll be finishing the year of 2020 with your plans in place for 2021. So that as we get to this time next year, we go through the seasons of preparing and doing the work and getting ready so that we're ready to transition as the year comes to a close, hopefully. So we're going to be going through that process live. You can go to www.abundantlifetrainingcenter.com. You'll see a link at the top of the page. You'll see a headline at the top there that talks about the Miracle Year class. Now, for those of you inside of the Abundant Life Blueprint, this week we're going to be getting into week number 3 on the financial blueprint. We're going to be getting into the more of the structure and the mechanics of finances as we talk about our top 3 priorities, which are saving, investing, and giving. Now, when it comes to savings, we're going to talk about setting up the structure. Number 1, we want to make savings a part of our budget. Make them a part of the budget, a non-negotiable part of the budget, hopefully, where we're constantly setting money aside. Because if you're not operating your household, your business, your ministry, whatever it may be, at a profit, you're not setting aside some money, we're going to potentially run into issues and dangers and problems if we don't have money set aside for emergencies, for opportunities, to invest, to save for things that are coming up. So we've got to make sure we're setting aside money for savings. On the investing side, we're going to be talking about going all in on God's plan. All in on God's plan for your life. Investing from the inside out. What is the dream? What is the vision? What is the plan that God has put into your heart? And if you don't know what that is, going through this miracle year planning process, hopefully will help to get you more clear on what that is. And investing from the inside out. Going all in on God's plan for our lives. Too often we look externally for all the things to invest in. I think the best path is to go from the inside out and to invest from the inside out. And then we're going to talk about giving. God is our financial partner. We talked about last week, our table turner in the area of finances is, God is our financial partner. And He's generous. We should be growing in our generosity. We should be excelling in this grace, growing in this grace of giving and becoming more and more generous. Giving to people that need help, giving to the poor, also sowing into other people's vision, being a blessing everywhere we go, hopefully turning you into a fountain rather than a drain when it comes to money. These are some of the things that we are after in this financial blueprint. But our top 3, saving, regularly setting money aside. for emergencies, for opportunities, setting money aside to sow, setting money aside to give, setting money aside to invest, setting money aside to take care of your family. And we have to make sure we operate at a profit, hopefully, in individually, businesses, ministries, whatever it may be. Investing from the inside out and growing in our generosity. So that's what we're going to be getting into here in this training in the inside of the Abundant Life Blueprint. You want to learn more about the Abundant Life Blueprint? Again, you go to www.abundantlifetrainingcenter.com to find out more. But let's get into this training on our financial blueprint.